Welcome to the Valkyrie. Welcome to a new generation of ships and pilots. Welcome to a battle for our very existence. Welcome to the Warzone.
Straight into the hangar, and we're going to have a quick look at the ships, because I think we're going to show off some of the new ships. Ooh. So we kind of revised the class system for Valkyrie Warzone. We used to have a fighter class, we're now calling that the assault class, and the reason is we're pushing the personality of these ships a bit further into what you would traditionally see as like an FPS. So we have like a assault gun guy, we've got like the sniper class, we have a shotgun personality type, and then we have like an LMG, SMG style fighter, and it's really to complement a wider range of play styles. You know, not everyone's pinpoint accurate with guns, you know, while flying a ship. Sure. So John's showing off there. This is the Shadow. This is our new ship class, which is brand new for Warzone. Yeah, and this has got like covert kind of stealth capabilities. So this is like, I'm not going to say Klingon warbird, but you know, we can cloak and uncloak, and then it's got a pretty sweet Nova bomb, which we'll have a look at later as well. And these are the new heavy ships. And so, you know, there's a lot of fan favorites in here. There's a lot of ships which people are very precious about. You know, we've been very careful to look at the ships that worked in Valkyrie and what people loved about them, and then take those traits and kind of amalgamate them to make these hybrids that, you know, represent the best of everything that we had. You know, we arguably had too many ships in Valkyrie at launch. We had about 27, and so, you know, maintaining all of those personalities and the gameplay which they offer could be a struggle at times, you know, so we've really just focused down, like laser focused into what really matters for the dynamics of providing different and compelling gameplay. And John's got, he's got the Kirin up there, which is one of our new support ships, which is really cool. Oh yeah, let's have a look at some sweet customization here.
Yeah, so we got all of
doesn't like customizations.
Yeah.
Shit's getting real!
And these kind of paint jobs that get delivered at the end of every battle, you get a time to kind of crate, basically. It's a reward gauge. When you fill that, you get a reward capsule delivered to your vault from the quartermaster. You pop that open, and you get between 2 and 4 items in the capsule, and they're like common epic rares. And these paint jobs kind of represent some of the stuff that you'll be finding in the loot crates. And yeah, you know, so you might get something which is like a straightforward common paint job, which might just be single color, all the way up to an epic, which, you know, radically transforms the exterior and the interior of the ship. And we even kind of color the hood elements within the ship to match. So it's pretty cool.
Is there going to be some sort of underlying back end where, like, if I get like some of the same armors, I can sell them back to the shop?
Oh yeah, we just, if you get any dupes, we just convert that to silver, which is, you know, a currency which you earn in the reward capsules anyway, and you can use that to buy cosmetics as well if you want. But all of the rewards are handled by this system now. It's a lot more fun popping open those reward capsules. So yeah, I mean, we could literally be on for hours just cycling through these.
That would be me. It takes me forever to like customize something. Yeah, you guys know.
We have decals for all of the ships as well, you know. We could actually, we jump out of there, John, and we'll just have a quick look into the mod tree. So the other big thing that we're bringing online for Warzone is more control over your ship's progression. You know, in the original Valkyrie, we had like 3 stats which you could improve, and that was it. It was almost like a flat A upgrade. Once you got it, that was it. We've now kind of broken out the stats into 4 categories. So we have attack, defense, tech, which is the number of gadgets on your ship, and mobility, which is, you know, your speed and your maneuverability in the air. And we have these 12 modifications which you can craft with XP. You just fly your ship and get kills, you earn XP, and you can craft these things. And you can craft up to 12 of them in any order that you want. You kind of follow the progression tree, and you assign 1 to each of the category. So you've got a bit of choice. But we've been very careful with this not to go for something which is all just a flat upgrade. We didn't want a situation where we just had like min-maxing throughout the game.
Sure, yeah.
So a lot of those modifications represent a trade-off. So, for example, you might assign 1 which gives you acceleration boost, but the compromise is that your top speed's a little bit reduced, you know. So it's more about complementing your play style and how you want to play Valkyrie. And we have this wonderful new screen in now, which at the touch of a button lets you know exactly what to do. This is the full loadout of your ship, you know, so it gives you your primary weapons, your secondary weapons, what abilities you have, and also new for Warzone, the Ultra ability. And this is something Ultra ability. Hashtag changing the course of battle with a single button press.
Nice.
It's a long hashtag.
Yeah, it's too long. It's too long. I'm going to work on that one. But we could jump into a battle now and maybe show one of those
let's
in
go.
action.
Let's see what we get on the servers.
Yeah. And today we're actually running on some live back-end servers, so that there is a chance, as there was yesterday, that we may find some journalists on the same servers.
Oh, so if you're out there,
Someone's in for some punishing.
So this is we've got our new extraction mode coming up on one of our new maps, which is Outpost, which is great.
Which is good times.
Yep.
And Outpost is something we wanted to do this for absolutely ages. This is it's a haunted house in space, basically.
Ooh.
It's the best way to phrase it. It's it's a really
haunted
dark,
house.
mean and moody kind of level. The narrative behind this is it's drifter outposts, which houses some secret technology, which the Valkyrie are using in their war against Schism. And so John's going to launch into this and hopefully get some sweet kills for you.
Yeah.
hopefully, I don't know.
This is my favorite mode now, actually, Extraction. I absolutely love it. It's got that kind of sporty feel to it that I really enjoy.
So what is it that makes a specific favorite level in something like this? Is it, is it there's surrounding objects? Is it just the look of it? Is it just
I think, I don't know. Well, I feel good if I find places that I feel like I can hide. It makes me feel clever and skilled. So I kind of like the kind of accessibility to just get in there and, evade people if I need to. And, oops, what was that lightning?
And so what John's doing now, he's going for the relic. So that's the glowing green thing. He's picked up the relic. The hood reflects to show he's carrying it now. And he's now got to get to the drop-off zone. So there's a warp gate, which is also colored green. And once he evades enemy fire, hopefully he can bank a point in there.
it's a good thing he knows where to go.
He knows.
Well, we have the direction indicators on the side of the hood, so at all times it tells you where the objective is. I've run out of capacitor now, so I'm in the open.
Those ECM's ready.
And the purple gauge, which you can see there, that's his ultra ability.
Okay.
And what happens is for every kill that you make, the enemy will drop this purple glowing salvage. If you fly through that, it will charge up the ultra for you. So,
nice.
But it also kind of helps your teammates. So the more salvage you collect, the more your ultra increases, but also that of your teammates too. So it's like a shared bonus, basically.
I'm bugging out from our dogfight because I want to go and see what's happening at the objective now.
Ooh.
Just love how fast it is.
I remember playing this in VR, and I remember having so much control in the space. Like, it was just incredible. I really like VR, but I'm excited to just be able to play this on console, and be like, all right, I'm going to use my VR tonight, with my friends, and let them experience it, and then, hey, let's just jump on console and sit on the couch and
Yeah,
play.
totally, yeah.
So-
And that was like a big drive behind it. It was, I've got some buddies that don't have VR headsets.
Sure.
And it was really unfortunate on games night when we're all jumping into VR games and we're like, do you want to join us? Oh, sorry, you can't play. And now at least
Sucks to be
everyone
you.
can play.
Feels bad.
Yeah. And like you say, there's those nights where, you just think, all right, I'm gonna go in there 2D tonight. It's nice to have that option.
Everybody loves options.
Yep.
Still one of the coolest VR experiences I've ever had was playing Eve the first time I got to see it in VR, and I was like, oh my God, this is exactly how VR is supposed to work. I get it now. I understand what everybody was trying to say about how awesome this is.
Did you get sick?
No.
There was people that got sick around me, and I was just like, I just want to try. I didn't get sick, but it really does feel like you're flying.
Yeah, it feels incredibly believable.
And I'm sure you guys have done a lot of rebalancing.
A lot of research,
yeah,
a lot of research, a lot of rebalancing, a lot of tuning for the whole time we've been out. And every single kind of patch or update we've made to the game has been to solidify it, to make it more solid and more comfortable for everyone. But yeah, from the very first time I came out that launch tube, I was just like, holy shit, this is it. This is space fantasy come true.
There's something that feels so right about it. Like if I'm looking around in space, it feels like I'm in space. So there's just something, I don't know, with my brain. Like I've played other things where I'm just like in a, something else, like a mech or something, and I'm just looking around and I just get nauseous.
Yeah.
But when I'm in space, I feel like this is how it's supposed to feel.
Yeah,
Right.
totally. Right.
And it's done so well, and I just have such a great experience every time I try it.
Yeah, well, we've got a very talented team back at Newcastle, and there's a lot of hard work gone into it, a lot of research being read about, what factors kind of could drive motion sickness, and we've tried to avoid everything. The only one that you might see is when people barrel roll too much. But I would say if you stand up and spin round, but you can do it quite a bit. But I'm just saying,
I know.
for your first time out,
For your first time, don't recommend
Don't
it.
go loop the looping for 3 times on the spot.
And on the 26th of September, you can just go on Steam, buy it, and just play it on your mouse and keyboard or the monitor. Like,
Yep.
You let Baldur do that to you?
What's that,
You
sorry?
let Baldur do that to you? I saw you just...
Yeah.
That's 3-1. 3-1.
Speak to the AI programmers about that one.
So I want to know what inspired you guys in this expansion. Like you learned a lot. You listened to your community.
Yeah.
What was the goal?
It started off at you must know what FanFest is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Huge space convention that happens in Reykjavik and home of EVE Online, and so that conversation started at FanFest, and it was like, well, we could keep putting more maps and we could keep putting more ships and modes into the game, but what do we actually want from Valkyrie? How do we want to evolve it? And we knew we had some fundamental issues that we just wanted to kind of clean up. We wanted to make the game better, and more mass market, more kind of approachable. So we looked at things like the interior of the cockpits and said, how can we physically represent the abilities? How can we do a better job of feeding back what players need to see? So a lot of those gauges, these are new for this update. You can see the missile gauge, which is the one on the right-hand side.
Yeah.
Shows the 3 missiles. So as John's using the missiles, that gauge kind of empties and then fills when they come back online. He's got countermeasures next to it. We tried to put all of the information in a more kind of front-facing place. But more than that, it was all about, how do we basically celebrate these ships more? And then it was a case of, iterating down, what do people love about them? Let's get a tighter roster of ships, but give players more control over them. Because that was another big thing that the fans wanted, which was, I just want to do this with it. I want to customize it. I love this ship, but it can't do X. And now with the mod system, hopefully we're getting to a place where you can find a ship that you really love and then fine-tune that kind of playability.
make it your own.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
I mean, it's so funny, right? It's like when you go into it, you mentioned, putting like 27 ships into the game. You think like, all right, this is going to give people a lot of opportunity,
Yeah.
and really they're just like, no, we want to narrow it down.
Yeah, that's
It's too
right.
many for us.
Yeah,
So,
you get frozen with too many decisions. It's like, oh, there's just far too much going on here. And what you really want to know is, I play a first-person shooter. I use an M4 and a red dot. Where's that?
Yeah.
Show me where that is. And that's
This
really
is the ship
mentality.
equivalent to that.
Exactly.
There you go.
Yeah.
Let me guide you through this experience.
So are there any ships that are like standout ships for you? Like when you're like thinking in your head, what are my like top 3?
Yeah, for me, it's the Uri, which is actually the one John's flying now, and this is more of an SMG style fighter. And I like this because it's a little bit more lenient with its fire,
Yeah,
with
it's
its
tanky
radius.
too. It can take a lot of damage.
Yeah, I think that's actually because John's really good at the game.
Oh, he's showing off. No pressure.
He's just showing off. He's just pulling some badass moves. But yeah, I mean, that's one of my favorites. What about you, John? You're a big fan of the Strix, aren't you?
Yeah, I've got a few favorite ships actually. The Strix is really nice. It's like a similar assault ship like this is, but it's actually it's got a big like snipey laser, and it's also got a little like micro warp drive on it. So it's really good for modes like this because you can actually dart forward like with some absolutely crazy rapid speed, and score some touchdowns or goals or however you want to think of it. It's good fun. There's
Victory
also
points.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, our new covert ship, the Shadow, is really good because you can actually stealth in that. And the stealthing comes with some severe penalties to movement and things like that. And when you start charging or firing your weapon, you lose your stealth. But you can fly around, and with our new Ultra system, you can pick up the glowing purple salvage after friendlies and enemies die, and it actually sort of helps top up your Ultra gauge. So if you could just stealth and just go around and just hunt for that salvage, just so that you are like an Ultra machine basically, which is one way to play it. We're basically allowing people to just try all the ships from straight away. You don't have to level up to unlock ships. They're all available.
Nice.
Just find the one you like and, play with it.
Find the one Baldur likes because he just got you again. Did he? Baldur's on fire. He's like, I think I'm on this stream. I'm going to find this guy.
There's some definite grudge matches against the AI in this game. We gave them names and personalities, and we have developed grudges against them.
Yeah.
If you ever see Thor out there, kick his ass.
So I know obviously flying is something really passionate, and this whole exploration of space. Is there inspiration that drove you to create this, whole like community? These are like movies that inspired you and books.
Oh yeah, we're a massive, we're a studio full of sci-fi geeks. We all watch Star
I am
Wars,
too, so
Star
that's why I want to
Trek.
hear
Yeah,
what kind of stemmed from all this.
When you look, we would look at battle scenes from like Battlestar Galactica, particularly the more recent one with Katie Sackhoff in. Incidentally, is now voicing our lead character.
Yeah, there you go.
So we
Dreams
watch.
do come true.
Indeed. We watch all of that stuff. We're influenced by it, and also a lot of modern shooters and team-based, clan-based games. We're all big fans of Rocket League, Overwatch, Battlefield. We are kind of avid hardcore gamers in the studio, and so that really does influence a lot of the decisions that we make about what game modes we want to develop and where we want to push the gameplay.
Sure. Yeah.
Victory.
Well done.
Thank you very much.
That was
Bravo.
for you, Frankie. That was for Frankie.
So he's gonna click on the spoils of war here. So this is your time to reward, basically.
Okay.
Let's see how far we get. Oh no, denied.
Almost.
Almost one more battle. And of course the XP as well, because John was using the Urite primarily. He got most of his XP for that ship, but he'll also get a little bit for the Strix as well.
Oh, that's cool. So it branches off if you split ships in the match?
Yeah, so if you did use all 13 ships in a match, then you would get XP for all of those ships.
Oh,
and it
nice.
would just be kind of shown to you.
So, guys, is that something you can switch on the fly, or is it you have to...
Yeah,
You have to die.
yeah. You have to die to swap ships, but they're all available. It's a full
So if
kind
you're
of
trying all the
open
ships in one go, clearly you need to work on your offense.
Yeah, exactly.
Just saying.
And you lose the ultra gauge as well if you change ships, so
okay.
there's a little bit of payback for sort of sticking to one ship, maybe for a couple of lives, so you can get that out there and try it out, and then see if you really enjoyed that. Maybe you want to try something.
So if you do stick with the same ship, the ultra gauge keeps going.
Yeah,
okay.
absolutely,
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've got a game of team deathmatch coming up on our other map, which is Fleet in a moment. Shall we have a little go
definitely. Yeah, we've got
do
a
it.
few minutes to see that.
I got nothing but time. Production might yell at me, but whatever.
I can hear some noise in the background. I think there's this company called Blizzard has an announcement to go somewhere. There's some ambient atmosphere going on.
But what are you guys most excited for people to check out for the first time in Warzone?
Oh, without a doubt, the ships. Just get straight into them. And we've got the fan favorites there. The Wraith is just so iconically Valkyrie, and it's still there. We've made some minor tweaks to it, but it's pretty much our terra firma. That ship was badass, and it hasn't changed for the most part. So the Wraith Mark 6 is kind of going to be a go-to for a lot of our hardcore established pilots. But then for everyone else, I would just say dive in there and just take them all out. Take them out, and we have loads of training modes. So there's a whole kind of new player experience in the game now, where you go to flight school and you do like a few missions, modules. You can complete them in any order. We give you kind of rewards for completing them, and then you go to match made into a server which is called the Proving Grounds. So it's just you and real people against AI, and then when you get to rank 5, we let you free in the wilds of real matchmaking.
In space.
Yeah.
In space.
For me, something I'm really looking forward to is seeing how people deal with extraction mode, like the mode that we just played. Because I've got a little feeling that that's going to become quite a favorite. It's like we made a spaceship shooting game, and maybe we actually made a spaceship American football game. Like inadvertently. And
Spaceball.
Yeah.
Not Spaceball. You know what?
Basketball.
Not to be confused with Spaceballs.
Yeah.
But Spaceball the game.
People were calling it Spaceball the other day.
Spaceball.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's it. We need some rebranding. We've got a month to sort this out.
So I actually saw on the scoreboard there's actually a journalist who's in the other side of Gamescom playing in the same match.
You've got to
Okay.
kill him. You've got to hunt him down.
Smile, you're on camera.
Get him.
So now it's
Get
on.
'em.
Now it's
There he is.
officially on. There he is, and there he was.
So this is our second kind of new big map for Warzone as well. This one's called Fleet. It's a lot more airy and open than Outpost, and this is kind of like a space station between spaceports. So you'll see a lot of ships kind of warping in and warping out. It's sometimes when you play Extraction on this level, it's like getting the ball and trying to cross the motorway.
Oh yeah.
It can get pretty hectic. So we definitely ask people to look left and look right before getting across.
So all the game modes are playable on all the maps?
Yes, yeah.
Nice.
also that we have a scout mode. So you're saying some of the things that inspired us, like with the stuff that we did. So like about a year and a half ago, I was lucky enough to give a guy from NASA his first ever go of virtual reality in Las Vegas. And he said, I just want to be able to fly around the maps and like have nobody shooting me. I don't have to kill anyone, no time limit. And like, when the guy from NASA suggests things for your space game, like, you don't ignore it. So you can now fly around all the maps to your heart's content for hours, days. Even,
There's passive mode?
There
I can
is,
just hang out
absolutely.
and fly around in space?
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool though, because if you see the game, when you're not playing, obviously you're playing, so I get to look more around at the atmosphere that you're flying around.
Yeah.
Yep.
It looks fantastic, and you kind of do want to explore, and it gives you, more of an opportunity to take a look at the maps, find out where, specific routes, how you want to go through things.
Absolutely, yeah.
Little some shortcuts and stuff like that. So I think having something like that's kind of cool.
You can also play all of the maps in survival mode as well. So if you just want to kind of an offline versus AI experience, we just put in wave after wave, and you've got to survive through waves of AI. So that's another good way to get used to the maps, but in a more kind of combat-facing way as well.
And also, with this expansion, are you guys planning to, in the future, maybe do other expansions?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're hoping, that the success when we come out on the 26th September, basically, we're hoping that the servers are full. We're hoping we expand our community, and then we can start planning the features we really want to do further afield. There's lots of social features that we want to start development on, and we've got designs kind of waiting to go. We're just waiting for the right time. Everything from like spectator tools, private matches, just all of the things that you really want to do, but there's a right time to kind of develop those features. And right now it's about getting all of the community together out there in battles.
I just want to explore. I just want to hang out and not shoot anyone. We want passive.
Yeah, you can do that. You can do that.
Want to do some landscaping?
Spend hours in there. and if you've got like a high-end card as well, like the Nvidias, the 1070, 1080s, you've got the ultra settings as well, so you can get those sweet God rays and everything looking crisp.
Done.
Wow.
So,
Okay. Twist my arm, please.
This is one of the new weapons on the Kirin, which is one of our new support ships, and it's really cool because your projectiles actually stick to the enemy and kind of singe them a little bit and then blow up. I like that.
I like some singe.
Just add a little salt.
Space
A little salt to the wound.
Singe rifles. Whoop, he's really going indoors here.
Yeah.
That's
You
that
got
close
him.
quarter space
You got him.
combat. It happens in the trenches.
Got him.
Boom.
Absolutely.
He's gotta be gone. There he is.
So can they actually hear you scream in space if you got your headset on?
I think they can. They've
Yeah?
got to be able to. Yeah. If you
I think-
shout loud enough.
I think
they've
that would be
got to
awesome.
hear.
Like if you perished, all of a sudden you just mic's cut out and nobody can hear you at all. And like you really can't hear the other person screaming.
It's like trash talking as your corpse is floating in zero G, frozen.
I think you guys have built a beautiful thing.
Absolutely.
It's,
Yeah.
it's definitely
We quite
something.
like
Yeah, we're fond of it.
Now, is it going to be playable here on any of the new game modes here at Gamescom?
We're not actually. We don't have like a public booth or anything.
Okay.
We're
'Cause
just
this is
in
our
the
first time
media lounge.
seeing this,
Yeah.
so all right.
Yeah, we did like an event off-site for a couple of days before Gamescom,
Okay.
where we got a lot of our hardcore players in and influencers, and basically just had, it was almost like old school LAN party, really. Just
Oh.
everyone sat
those.
just kicking hell out of each other.
Awesome.
I was going to say, where can we find all this information if we...
Yeah, all the information's on the Valkyrie website, but you'll see us everywhere.
That's
hopefully.
evalkyrie.com.
That's evalkyrie.com.
There you
That's
go.
easy to roll off the tongue. But yeah, we're out on 26th of September, $29.99, and that gets you everything. It gets you the Warzone expansion and everything that came before it, and that's both versions of the game, VR and non-VR. So
your whole package wrapped up into one.
everything for €29.
Nice.
Just 1 month away. You guys, thank you so
Yeah.
much for coming to the
Thank
stage.
you.